back to the back nine of our second round of the 2023 Canadian National Championships, elevated by Thought Space Athletics. Big shout out to the Patreons of Parked Pro. Without you, we wouldn't be here today. And thank you to PDGA Canada. All that money you pay for PDGA, that goes right back into Canada.
And thank you to our title sponsors, Thought Space Athletics, as well as iTech 2000, CDC Tourism, ODSA, and PDGA.
All right, and we're here at Birch Point for round two, and this is the back half. So if you haven't watched the front nine, go back and check that out. I'm here with Kat Johnson, recently sponsored by Casta Plus.
Hello.
Yeah, and I'm Colleen McInnes. So welcome and thank you for joining us.
So after the front nine, we have Raven sitting at 1 down, Colleen with even, Karen at +3, and Irina at +4.
So combine that with our first round scores, and we have Raven at +4, Mia at +6, Irina at +9, and Karen at +10. It's getting a little bit of gaps, but getting really exciting on this lead card today.
So starting us off here is hole 10, which is a par 3, 331 feet. This is a pretty straightforward hole. You got a tight gap to hit and a lot of trees to contend with, but if you just throw something kind of straight at the basket and get your way down there, you'll set yourself up nicely for a birdie. A lot of the folks on this card can definitely reach this, so hopefully we'll see some birdies today.
Yes, that's right. And if you see that basket in the background, that's hole 8 from the front nine. So this is the basket we were aiming at before. I like this shot because I feel like once you get out of that initial gap, you can kind of flex whichever way you want, and you can go straight, you can hyzer like Raven's doing, you can do something that kind of anti-flexes. Of course, on this hole though, like the best shot is when you see it go like dead straight down that middle.
Yeah,
It's real
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, it does set up nicely for the straight shot, but there's definitely other routes you can go. I do like Raven's play of hyzering it around all the trees here. The straight shot's definitely a little bit more technical.
Irina getting a little luck with her straight shot there.
That's
Kicked her
right.
back in.
She still has a good look at the basket there. Karen a bit early release, but it looks like she'll still get it down there. She'll be a little bit, she'll have some trees to weave around, but I think as far as this hole goes, she still has a good upshot look to the basket there.
She punched through quite a bit. That's the main thing. She's not behind the tree, so. And just, I think I was more concerned about hitting a tree.
It looks like a little early left hyzer, but you still get pretty far down and almost pinned high, I would say.
Yeah.
And it kind of opens up around the left side, so you should have an open shot to the basket.
Yeah. I definitely ended up on the right side during my practice rounds and thought it was way worse. So I think I was pretty happy about at least it's on the left.
Oh, nice little flex upshot there around the tree.
Irina straddling out here. Oh, that looked so good. It was a really nice line, that putt. Just a little bit more power, that would have been in.
Raven with a nice open look for a birdie. Gives it a bid. She's in a great position for a par.
Oh, tough look there. Karen will have a little tap in for her bogey save. It's always nice when you par a hole when you feel like you really shanked that drive.
You're like, ooh, I got away with that one.
So many holes that I feel like I have such a great drive and then I end up getting a bogey and I'm like, what was I doing? Raven all smiles there. I think they're talking about a bug under her hat or a spider hanging down or something. All those little distractions. Oh man, it looks so good when you don't see where the disc is. Looks amazing.
It's like the perfect shot.
All right, so hole 11, this one's a little bit complicated. You can see Amanda on the right there. So you do have to go down this middle gap. No cutting corners. At this point, you can go either way. You can go towards the cars or you can go on the right side of the fairway. A lot of people trying to just land in that opening so you can choose for your next shot which way you go. This is a pretty typical area to land on your second shot, whether you want to or not. It's hard to get all the way through down to the basket. So it is a very tough par 4. I do feel like you have to have 2 really clean shots to be able to have the opportunity at a birdie. And one mistake really can set you back to a bogey here.
Yeah, one wrong tree kick. There's a lot of trees, in the way of the basket here. So let's see if this group can just weave their way around it.
So Raven turned that over past the Mando nicely, and she's sitting on the right side of that gap that we were looking at. Irina looks like she's getting kicked to the left side, but not quite deep enough to be comfortable, but should be okay there.
I think we'll see a lot of turnovers here.
That's my broken turn. It's so broken. It's actually an EcoStar turn, so it most turns say -2.2 or something like that, and it's a -3, which I think is because EcoStar is old Innova plastic that they don't make a lot of discs in anymore.
Yeah, is EcoStar their like recycled plastic line, or some of it's recycled?
I'm not sure what the Eco stands for, if that's like ergonomic or like recycled. But definitely it was like you had Pro Plastic and then Star, Pro, and then EcoStar was like the super understable.
Yes.
There's also Blizzard as well.
Yeah,
that can
lightweight.
Yeah. So probably that disc still has, like, back in the day when they didn't emboss them, it has like pen written on it where they like had to handwrite the weight and everything.
Oh yes. They don't do that very often these days.
No. Usually just the companies starting out nowadays will do that, which feels a little nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Raven looks like she's landing in a great spot. She has a pretty good line here.
That's tough though. Those trees, there's so many to get through.
Yeah, one tree kick, one branch hit. I can really get in the way of your shot. It's a low ceiling, so
yeah,
it's definitely tricky to get up there. It's a short distance shot off your, after your first shot. So
yeah, I think when you have a good drive, once you get up there to a good drive, it's so intimidating to like be like, oh my gosh, I finally had a good drive, that it's easy to screw up. But that OB behind can add a little bit of stress. So it's nice they've got those Innova signs there protecting us, keeping us safe.
Thanks, Innova. And Karen, I like Karen's play of taking the knee, getting nice and low, so she doesn't have to worry so much about the low-hanging branches. Well played. Speaking of taking a knee, Colleen's going with the same strategy here. Just trying to get right up and close to the basket, or just run the putt.
Yeah.
That was a great bid.
When in Rome, right? I figured if I was on a knee, I couldn't really go past the basket too far, so.
Yeah, great play.
Nice job by Raven. Great par. Nice and clean, very easy.
And Colleen also taking her par.
So upset about that second shot. If I could go back and do one shot over, it 100% would be that one.
I think the birdie is definitely within reach for FPO here, but, after a good drive, you're thinking, okay, here we go, just a simple upshot, but
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't work out. But hey, walking away from this hole with a par is not bad. So way to go, Colleen. Keep your chin up.
Yeah. Next time.
So here we are at hole 12. It's a par 3, 279 feet. I find that this hole plays pretty similar to hole 10, where it kind of calls for a straight shot or something kind of like a flip up backhand. Again, very, very doable distance for FPO's. Main obstacle here are, of course, the trees. You want to keep the disc nice and low for this low ceiling. And
yeah, I like to call these like a choose your own adventure, you know? It's like you get to decide which disc, which line. There's really so many options that the only thing you can be upset about is your choices after you throw. So very much all about the player here. Just getting eaten up by those branches.
Yeah, this course, I mean, it's technically like a park style course, but it has very much a wooded feel. Like the trees are very much in the way as Colleen gets the double tree kick. But I think your drive got down there.
Got up there.
Yeah.
We always love a look. As long as there's a look, we can feel good about it.
That's right. That looks like a great line from Karen. Hopefully she manages to skip in front of that tree. But yeah, that was the shot that we're all looking for on this hole. Raven managing to get in front of the tree and gives herself a nice bid to the basket.
That was like a patent pending jump putt. That was really cool. I don't know that I've seen a lot of people do that.
No, you don't see that very often. But
And
I think
it
got her some good control.
Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, very nice jump putt. Just nestle right up to the pole there.
I was very worried about those low-hanging branches, and I just did not feel like it was worth it.
Yeah, no, I like how you kept it low and no nonsense. Just get it down there.
Feels so boring when you lay up, but you're like, yeah, it's the right thing to do.
Honestly, in a competition, you want to avoid adding any sort of stroke, so laying up for par is not a bad strategy.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it hurts the soul,
Yeah.
especially when you're used to getting so many birdies like yourself, but
Well, it's the
there's nothing wrong with
showmanship, too. Like, there's a few people back there, cheering us on, and it's like, I don't want you guys to see me laying up.
They want to see the exciting action, but it's already quite exciting seeing just the raw power in these drives and the good strategy, like the FPO minds at work.
Yeah. I think they're just happy seeing us smiling.
That's right.
So switching it up a bit, now Raven is having the hot round at 1 down. Me at even, and we just have a 2-stroke difference. Irina holding that place at 3rd, just ahead of Jess Gia, so it's a bit of a change. Karen has gone down to 5th place. So Jess making her move during this 2nd round. And we got Kat Johnson, you up in 6th place, moving on up, getting up there, getting a fighting chance at that money.
Trying to fight my way up to lead card. So here we have hole 13, par 3. I believe this is the shortest hole on the course.
Yeah. I love this
short,
hole.
But yeah, it is quite fun. It's a little tricky because we have the hole is sloping right to left, down towards the water. So, of course, water is OB, and past the end of the signs is also OB.
Yes, yeah,
so
long.
you really got to have that distance control, that angle control, and choose your disc wisely because you can't, there's not a whole lot of room for error. You don't want to land in the water.
Yeah, you really need to know the ground play on your disc. You really need to know the angle and how far right you're going to throw it in order to get close, but not too far left, but not super far away.
Exactly. Yeah, an early release.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, Raven just absolutely parks it.
A good had a little roll right to the pin too. Settled in nice.
Got that first place love right now.
Oh, and just a big shout out as well to Jess Gia on that last hole, the only birdie.
Wow, way to go, Jess.
Yeah, that's what's moving her on up to that 4th place spot, right?
Yeah.
Irina with another nice shot, and just kind of trying to get it as close as we can.
That looks like that'll do it.
And that distance is hard. You think, oh yeah, that's right, and then you get up there, you're like, oh no, that wasn't right.
I mean, with the power that these ladies have, it's pretty easy to go too far.
Yeah.
So, it's trickier than it seems to get right up to the pin here.
I think sometimes people can say holes like this can be gimmicky because they're so short they don't feel like it's a challenge. But I think that's an even better challenge to have to control yourself and not just like choosing which disc to disc down, but actually having your putter and being like, okay, I have to control this putter.
That's right. Ooh, Colleen with the great run. hits a little bit of metal, and fortunately just settles right up under the basket. That water dangerously lurking beside it.
I definitely was thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it hit the right side. Because when you're looking at that, that's the side that you don't want to miss on. If I'm going to miss, I want to miss left.
Right. But
boy, was I lucky.
No danger.
Oh,
Karen
man,
with a nice bit. Well, she's shaking it off, Great attitude there.
At least she can smile and dance. Dance her sadness away.
That's right.
But we had a wonderful spotter. You can see him down there. He actually was spotting on this hole and the next hole and was gracious enough to go into the water to spot.
Wow.
So we are going to see him, like we just said there, go, I don't know if we'll see him on film, but he goes right out into the water for us. And then if your disc goes out there, he's already out there to get it. It's amazing.
Give this man a raise.
Right? Phenomenal.
I remember him. He was very enthusiastic and so excited to see the women play.
Yes. He was cheering. He was like screaming like, "Go women!" And so it's adorable.
It's incredible. I didn't catch his name, but if you're out there and watching, thank you so much. You're a
or,
joy.
If you're part of the Thunder Bay community, please let him know that big shout outs, come watch this and tell him that we gave him some mad props on that. And so hole 14, huge hole, lots of water on the left. There is a big fairway to land on, but it is really tough with this. You can see the water getting pushed by the wind and the trees here. It is very windy on this hole, and you need to make sure you know where your disc is going to land. So how high you're throwing it, what your angle is, and how much it's going to hyzer or spike in or whatever. And then a path OB.
The Innova Rolo. The disc made for rolling. The Rolo, making rollers fun.
All right, so we got Raven just looking to get a big hyzer. I like that line.
So FPO is looking to get as much distance as possible. However, we're contending with like quite a big slope. So from the tee pad, it doesn't look like much, but there's definitely quite a big right to left slope, and the gravity's kind of pulling your disc back down to the water. So a lot of us are looking to throw something wide right, trying to avoid the OB on the right, but also trying to have the disc settle down to the right of the OB, to the right of the water. So
that was instant regret that you just heard right there. Instant regret. Just as soon as you let go, when you do that, when you throw it 2 nose up, and you're like, oh, that is not gonna do anything good.
Sometimes you just know right out of the hand.
But that happens, so we're gonna have to see if I can make it back. Oh, what a stop.
These signs have just been doing some work today.
Yes, in years past we have only had flags here, and actually at quite a few spots that we have already seen this happen. And so this year was a big, nice change for us. Look at this sad face.
Well, like we were talking earlier, this guy is just really good at spotting, marking the lie, showing us where our disc landed.
He was joking around, trying to make light of it and everything. Yeah. And then just go ahead and shank it again. I was so upset about this, and I have no one to blame but myself. You can focus for 13 holes, but then when you get to hole 14, remember to eat a snack or something.
That's right. You gotta be hydrated, gotta be, get your blood sugar at a good level.
So Irina's shot there is totally fine. The OB is more so for the water. It's not gonna, you can see it wrap around there. So she's fine in the bushes there. Not a great spot, but
safe.
Definitely safe.
Karen's just left with a nice hyzer up towards the basket. OB, not so much in play for her there, so this does look like a really good landing spot. They bit off quite a bit of distance off their tee, so probably disking down with like a mid or something for this approach.
Yeah, and you can see behind as well, there is a path there that is OB, but it is to the right. And we actually had a spotter down there as well, stopping people from walking down the path to make sure that it was nice and safe. So, like we said, a lot of thought put into this tournament, a lot of great organization done.
Colleen looking to make a big putt here.
Save my bogey. Ooh. It looked so good from the other angle.
Yeah, that looked like that was tracking, but
it was just okay. This whole hole all around subpar, not great.
subpar, but not in a good way.
Plus par, I don't know. Whatever bad is. Oh, I loved that energy she put into that putt. That was like explosive. Very nice.
No, good bid by Raven. Just a little short of the basket. Almost there. Hitting cage. Oh, Colleen, this does not look like your hole.
No, at this point I think I just want to cry.
Oh no.
Gotta hold it together.
Yeah, just breathe.
Take some deep breaths. Don't punch the basket. I think I looked at Irina really happy too, and I was like, what am I, just stop being so sad.
That's okay. Just walk to the next hole, shake it off.
Yeah, and this is where what I said. Like, if I carry this to the next hole, there's no way I'm going to be able to perform that hole well or do it justice. So. Look at that beautiful view too.
Yeah, these courses were all just such gorgeous properties. Thunder Bay is just beautiful. It was an honor to play in this area.
So another shout out to Jess Gia, the only person to birdie that hole. And we only play this once, so that's 2 that she's gotten the only birdie on. We can see already why she's moving on up.
Crushing it. So here we have hole 15, par 4, 415 feet. Off the tee, you want to get past this tiny little gap. It plays uphill, and then once you land up to the top of the hill, you're just left with a short upshot to the basket here. We've got road left OB, path to the right OB. Very, very tricky tee shot. It's a very small gap, and you're hitting it late, so it can be quite challenging type of throw here. As Raven goes high hyzer, but there are some gaps in between these trees. So hopefully she'll just have a nice little opening for her next shot.
Yeah, I think there's typically 2 schools of thought on this. It is far, but it is not far for us to get up there. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of risk reward. There is some people that are laying up, and then there are some people that are just trying to do like what Irina and Karen are doing here. Just try and punch it through if you can. There is a little bit of hazard that you might see up there where Irina landed. It's just a poison plant kind of thing or beehive thing. So it wasn't like OB. It was just you're not allowed to throw from there because of risk of injury or whatever. And a fun fact about this hole, this is actually the opposite of what this hole was originally created. So it used to go backwards. You used to tee off from just near where the basket is and go downhill to where the tee pad now is. They actually changed this for speed of play and flow, and they changed it for when they had knock here, and then now the club has adopted that as how the hole is playing now for good. So
I do like the change a lot.
Yeah.
A lot better. I feel like it definitely scores better too.
And it's fun. It's tricky.
And it's not a hole that you see very commonly.
Yeah.
Not like a common line that you would ever see at a course. So yeah, very, very interesting. Everybody's shaking it up.
Yeah, what a great shot from Karen there from the knee too. I love that. So there's a lot of possibility of you doing it and getting up there, but
Colleen a bit low, but you get a skip.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of distance out there. So you got a little bit of a run from around this tree. Ooh.
Yeah.
Very good shot.
If you go back to my upshot there, a lot of people at home might go, why didn't you forehand out the other side or something? Yeah, that's how low my forehand self-esteem is. But it's getting there, people. You will see much more of it soon.
Yeah.
A little bid from Irina, and oh, what a bid from Raven. How
Laughing it
many
off.
how many bowls can we hit in one day?
Ooh, Karen from in the tree.
What a birdie. Beautiful.
She's pumped. That is just definitely something you need to kind of like breathe like a little bit more light into your round, like a little fresh air, so a little bit of life. So hopefully that'll help Karen finish out a round on a positive note. As most of the card walks away with a par, Karen with the lone birdie.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Let's get another
And
look
out
at
of the tree. Oh, good putt. That's tough. And I bet her legs hurt getting out of that.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's like an obstacle course. All right, let's do another check-in. We have Raven sitting in first place with -2. Irina shooting +3 so far in second place. And we have a tie for third place between Colleen and Jess Gia. Jess shooting a +2 and Colleen shooting a +3. So things are getting interesting here.
Yeah.
Jess with all those birdies is really climbing up. So
On
hole
that
16, par 3, 397 feet. This is a very interesting hole because
Hey, I don't actually know how to play this hole. I don't think anyone does.
I still haven't figured it out.
I kind of actually tried a hyzer on this hole, which I don't know if that's the right play.
Yeah, I see a lot of people going for like a backhand flex shot, kind of high and around the trees, hoping to kind of crash in somewhere near circle 2 on this hole. There's just so many trees in the way, and there's not really a direct line, so
Yeah, and like a
very
lot of holes
challenging.
on this course, par 3, that is 397 feet. So, with all those trees, we're really just hoping to have a look, even if it is far.
So Karen playing a big hyzer, getting herself out to a nice open space. That's a great shot.
And, despite going pretty left, there's no OB, there's no risk over there, so she should be open at least.
Yeah, main thing is try not to find too much trouble in the trees. So far, majority of these ladies are avoiding the trees. And that's the flex shot that we
Yeah.
were talking about. That was really well done. Irina getting that extra skip. Looks like she's close to circle 1 here. That
Right?
was quite a crush.
That's the line I want to take, but I just don't know if I can do it, because my disc keeps turning into the tree or hitting the tree first, and then so I'm doing more of like the kind of what Karen did, just nicking a branch. But
Yeah,
that
that'll
shot by
work.
Irina, like, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very beautiful. Textbook shot there. Colleen has a big hyzer around all these trees. Just barely hits that last tree in the way. But it looks like you're about pin high now, so.
Yeah, it'll be a look for par. That's all we can ask for.
Oh, another one of those patent pending backhands from Raven. Good control there. Lands a little past the basket, but I think she'll have a look for par.
But we love to see that stop and not hit and skip away or something.
Yeah, that was a good tree reaction from Karen's shot there. Ooh, Irina going for the birdie bid.
I like that she took a knee, but you can see how low those branches are because she still hit one.
Even with the knee, it's hard to avoid the branches. Colleen just getting around the trees on her upshot there. Just a little low from Raven, but it was a great bid. Karen too. Similar idea, just barely low. It's tough. Do you find it tough when you're playing a course and the baskets are at different heights? So maybe you're just used to putting always the same height, but then
yeah. I think too, like the later in your rounds, the more tired you get. So I tend to do that kind of thing more in like this kind of hole, like hole 16, because I'm not really engaging that lower body and I'm just kind of using my arm and my hips. So.
And then maybe that's kind of when the muscle memory kicks in a bit more, and you're used to kind of putting a certain height, and you don't quite adjust. So it looks like we're walking away with only just one par on this hole.
Kind of a turn of events, because I mean, there's plenty of holes that I think are harder, and it goes to show that it's all about making sure that you are thinking about what your game plan is, not worrying about running stuff that you don't need to run. So, speaking of hole 17, this is a tricky shot down through that first gap of trees. Once you clear that, you're pretty much in the open, and getting down to this basket is a little bit tough because there's a lot of stuff on the ground here, a lot of dead stuff that kind of stops you dead, a lot of dirt there. So not easy on the skips, but it does slow you down enough that you won't go super far past.
So this hole, it's another kind of choose your own adventure, but I think we'll see mostly a lot of backhands. This group can definitely get this distance here, so I think everyone's going to be looking for a birdie.
Yeah, I think Irina even got stopped by that dirt that I was just saying.
Yeah.
Definitely the distance is available for us here.
Karen getting a great skip, landing about pin high, just a little left of the basket, but she'll have a nice open approach. The main miss that you really don't want to get or don't want to have is the trees, the early trees here. You definitely want to get it past that so you don't have to worry about
absolutely
about the trees on the upshot. As Raven just line drives it straight up to the basket.
That looks perfect. That's what we want to see. Not that. And that happens, but like we were saying, managing your expectations when something like this happens, it's so important for you to go, okay, I just want to be close to the basket. You don't need to make up that birdie.
That's right. Just take it shot for shot. You know, if you don't get it close to the basket off the drive, reset your expectations. Just get up and down for that par. There's nothing wrong with that. Karen definitely wanted that. Colleen hoping to save par. Great bid. Irina, it looks like she ended up deep with a basket. A little branch to contend with, but it was a great bid, and she just has a tap in for her par there.
I think in courses like this, because it's a park, you don't want to trim away branches that are part of the natural foliage, but as players, you really want that in the circle for you to have an opportunity at the hole, especially when you've got some long distances like the holes we've had on this course.
Right, you're really hungry for that birdie.
Great, solid putt there from Karen.
Yeah, nice low straddle. That's tough to do from so low. Makes it look easy. As Raven taps in her par. Irina as well. So shout out to Alicia and myself with the only birdies on this hole.
Look at that, great birdie.
Thanks. Fun fact, I think this is the only time I've seen it, but I got my birdie in with one of those like putts that wedge into the cage.
Oh, so it went in the front of the cage and wedged in there?
Yeah, I threw like my soft fierce a little too low, and I thought for sure it was just gonna bang off the cage and just land under the basket, but it stayed in the cage. I was amazed.
Man.
It was
One of those epic stories.
so exciting.
And the last hole here, hole 18, par 3. This is a very beautiful open for most of the fairway. And the key part here is the distance. 358, we're really pushing our max distance. The basket is situated in a circle of trees. So no matter where you land, left side, right side, you could be behind a tree. And the main thing is, obviously, don't throw 380 feet or you might be in the parking lot. But I think we're pretty safe there. So just try to nuzzle up as close as we can.
End of round, fist bumps. Looks like some great energy on this card. Everyone seemed to have a great time. Lots of good camaraderie. Love to see that in FPO. Everyone's so supportive and just happy to play with other women. So
Yeah.
love to see that. Irina with one of her classic, beautiful
Amazing.
low flex shots.
Loved that. That was beautiful. The flex on that just came and sat so nice.
It looks very effortless too, effortless distance. I think this fairway shapes up for like a big turnover, it looks like, but that can make it quite tricky because it's, you know, it's a little touchy and easy to kind of release late and get into those trees on the right, but
Yeah, I think sometimes when I have an idea of like I'm going to do a turnover shot, you have to make sure you use the left side of the fairway to drift right, or else if you go straight down the fairway, you're going to drift right way too early.
right. And you don't want to release too right or early release and not get enough angle because then you're just going to go right on into the parking lot here. So
Yeah.
it might look wide open, but it's still kind of a technical shot,
Yeah,
especially if you want to
definitely.
get that distance and get your birdie.
And this is what I mean. Like I love to see courses that really maintain that. Like at least you can wedge your foot under there. Mm-hmm. Having to kind of crawl under those bottom branches is tough. But we do want to preserve nature as much as possible. So I appreciate that they don't want to affect the trees too much with our sport.
And it keeps things interesting. I mean, no one wants to be in that situation, but it's really fun to see how you can get out of, you know, just the situations that nature puts you in.
Yeah. Push yourself.
Really put the yoga to practice, you know. Camera with a great bid, missing just a little right, but she'll still be in circle one for her comeback. Raven, I believe this is where her drive landed, which is huge, and almost bagging the birdie. Raven's just
So
been all over
close.
the basket as well this round.
Yeah.
Just some, you know, a little too low, a little too left, but always hitting metal and just being so close.
Oh yeah, nice birdie to end it.
What a great putt. Great drive and great putt. Irina definitely deserving of that birdie, and yeah, that was beautiful.
And what a way to end the round. And I just walked away. Oh, I spotted a Chris Brown in the background.
A wild Chris Brown appears.
Good finish from Karen. A rough result with that bogey, but still a great putt at the end.
Yeah, strong round. Colleen tapping out her bogey.
So sad. But it happens. And a great par from Raven. So this is quite a spread. A par, a birdie, 2 bogeys.
Yep, we've got it all here on this hole.
And that'll do it for our back 9 of round 2 for the 2023 Canadian National Championships, elevated by Thought Space Athletics.
What a great round. There's a lot of movement on the leaderboard.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a different lead card going into our final round. Again, if you haven't checked out the first round, make sure you go and do that. Big thanks to PDGA Canada. All our PDGA fees do go back into all these tournaments. They're sponsoring A tiers, nationals, provincials, any women's or junior events. Get out there and ask them. They are happy to support.
That's amazing. So just capping off our Round 2, we have Raven still sitting in first with her 1 down, 4 up overall. Irina sitting in second with 7 over par. Just Gia coming in at 3rd place with her +9, and Colleen with +12 in 4th. So that's going to be our new lead card.
Yeah, exciting. A little bit of distance between people, but still going to be a very exciting last round. We hope you check it out. If you haven't already, go to patreon.com and become a Patreon for Parks Pro so you can get more of this wonderful coverage, quality filming, awesome commentary, and a wonderful team.